Hey guys, Probo1701, and today we're going to be reviewing the 1996 Doctor Who TV movie starring Paul McGann. It's a mixed bag. We'll talk about the good, we'll talk about the bad. I do want to say that I do consider it essential watching if you're a Doctor Who fan. Not necessarily because it's like really good, but because it is an important part of Doctor Who history. And it's a really unique story. There's no other Doctor Who story like it. It's its own unique thing, which is nice. Of course, it was a collaboration between the BBC, Universal, 20th Century Fox, and of course the Fox television syndicate. So they all pulled money and resources into it and made this film together. It's very Americanized. Has a very American film feel to it. There are a lot of good things about this movie, though. The first being the Eighth Doctor, of course. Paul McGann is great as the Eighth Doctor. He's very likable. He has a certain energy he brings to the role. He's very optimistic, very warm, always with a nice smile, very friendly. And Paul's a good actor. I really like the different ranges he goes through. You know, he's charismatic with the grace. He can be a good action doctor when he needs to, but he's got a fire in him too, as you see at the climax when he's chained up. My favorite McGann moments are the parts when he's chained up and the doctor's trying to steal his lives. When he's talking with that loud voice, because he's just, I don't know, it just works for me when he's sitting there. What do you know about death? More than you! All that about, he's lying to you. This is my body. This is my TARDIS. You know, all of that part. All your lives. I thought you told him I'd stolen your life. That every single bit he does right there is just, the energy in it really sells me on the character, the conviction in it. Another thing I like about it is Sylvester McCoy, the Seventh Doctor. He doesn't get a lot of screen time, but when he's on screen, he's magnificent. First off, I want to say I love his outfit. His costume design for this is the best I've ever seen the Seventh Doctor look. I love that the question mark vest is gone and replaced with that red one. And I love the longer hair he has. It's a really nice look, and I love the fact that a lot of the Big Finish audios, they use pictures of him from the TV movie on their covers, because he just looks like, you know, the chess master, the dark doctor you don't want to mess with. It's a shame we don't get more screen time with him, or that we didn't have any other adventures with him looking like this. And McCoy is great here. When the few lines he has, he delivers them fantastically. He does a lot of acting with his face and body language. Like that bit when the Master first breaks out and he's managed to get the TARDIS semi-stabilized, when he's going to check on the box that's been broken, and he looks at it and he's just like, you know, he has that oh crap look on his face. I love that shot. That's great acting. And then when he first gets shot and he's on the ground and he sees the ooze coming through the keyhole, and he's just like, stop it, you know. The acting there is so superb. And then even when he's in the hospital, right when he wakes up and he's like, whatever you're about to do, stop. He says it in this very calm manner, this very Seventh Doctor. Of all the moments in this movie where he does feel like the Seventh Doctor from season 26, it's right there, right when he stops her hand, whatever you're about to do, stop. He's very calm. I'm not human. I'm not like you. It's very Seventh Doctor, and I like that. I just wish we'd gotten to see more of McCoy here, because he is good. In the time he's allotted, he's really good. Eric Roberts as the Master, it's weird because it's almost like he's playing different characters over the course of the movie. Because at the beginning of the movie, he's one way. Then you have a part kind of in the middle where he's another way. And you have a part at the end when he's way over in the camp. And it's a little over the top at the end. I don't like that he changes into the Time Lord outfit. That seems a little silly. Especially when he's supposed to be on a deadline and trying to do this real fast. But the way he is at the beginning, with the fingers on the glass and tearing the piece of skin off and just, I like that part. It's like he's acclimating to his body, perhaps. I do like the fact that he has a companion. the Master with a companion is a neat idea. I wouldn't mind seeing that explored again, but I love the fact that the Master actually has a companion for part of this. And I actually do like the interplay between them. I don't really care much for the guy playing Lee in it. I don't know if it's so much the actor's fault as it is maybe the way he's written, but I never really clicked with Lee as a character. But I do love the interplay between him and the Master sometimes. You kill me. You want me to kill you? And I like that part about, well, we'll never catch them now. We are in an ambulance. I do really enjoy some of that. I like Grace. I like Daphne. I've seen her in other stuff. I've seen her in Jag. I've seen her in Knight Rider. I've seen one or two others like Airwolf or A-Team or something like that. I've seen her in some other stuff. I like her as an actress. So she's great here. I think she's a good companion. You know, she's not like one of my favorites or anything, but she is a good companion. She does a good job here. I wouldn't mind seeing her come back maybe sometime. But she does a good performance. Her and 8 get along really well. I like seeing, especially, they go through quite a lot with her kind of thinking of him as a patient, then her kind of being creeped out by him, then her kind of having a slight romantic interest in him. It's kind of nice to see what they go through. I love some of the interplay between her and 8. Da Vinci, he had a cold when he did that. I love that. Now you can't turn back time. Yes, you can. I love that. There's so many good moments in this movie. I like the fact that it revolves around the turning of the millennium with the year 2000, which in 1996 was a big deal. You know, the year 2000, that was a big deal. Everybody was hyping that up. So for the time the movie came out, that's actually, pretty neat that they said it there. New Year's Eve 1999, pretty cool. I like the 8th Doctor's sleight of hand ability, the little jelly baby thing he does to distract people. Once with the Beridium clock piece and another time to distract the cop. That's a nice little go-to he does. Plus, I like the jelly baby reference, of course. I like his outfit. It's very classy and nice and looks sharp. I enjoyed that. Some of the bad things. The pacing is kind of all over the place. The Master's abilities are really weird. The lizard eyes, the spitting up the gunk on people to immobilize them. It's really unusual. Unless they're thinking of it as a carryover from Survival. I'm thinking the person who wrote the Master for this movie must have just seen the Master in Survival. Because in Survival he does kind of acquire the cat eyes and the ability to kind of manipulate people, which he's been pretty good at hypnotizing people since the beginning. So maybe in my head canon that's just a carry. That's how he survives. That's how he becomes a sludge thing. So he still has some of the cat power left over from Survival in him. That gives him the abilities to do that. But it's still kind of weird. He doesn't always feel like the Master. He's very far removed from Roger Delgado's Master. If they had made him a different villain, like an original villain, I think it would have worked better. I think he's an alright villain for that. It's still a little campy at the end, but alright. But making him the Master, I think, was a mistake, because he doesn't really feel like the Master. Although I do like that they slicked his hair back like the traditional Master. Trying to think of some of the other things. I don't like Lee's character. I've mentioned that. I do love the TARDIS interior. I do have to mention that. I forgot to mention that. The TARDIS interior is one of my favorites. It's large. It has this very lived-in feel, which I like. It feels more like a home. Instead of just instead of his vehicle, it feels like his home. Looking much more lived in, which I like. It's a huge set too. It looks really nice. I love all the clocks everywhere. I kind of have the feeling that the 7th Doctor had been traveling in that setup for a while. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite TARDIS interiors. I especially love the full column going all the way to the roof. I believe that was the first TARDIS that had the central console go all the way to the roof with the little parts coming down. That was really neat. I love that they've continued that in the modern series oftentimes. Yeah, the TV movie is flawed. It has its problems. But it is a good watch. It is essential viewing. I think for people who've only seen the new series, if you want to kind of get into the classic era, it's a good stepping stone. I think it's essential for even the modern series, because I think a lot of the mistakes the TV movie made gave them warnings of things to avoid in the new series. Like in the new series, they didn't start off with just McGann and have him regenerate into Eccleston. They started off with Eccleston. And I think that's a result of the TV movie. Because in the TV movie, I mean, you're introduced to this character, and the first things you really see him do are get shot and die. And then turn into a totally different person. You know, for someone, when you're introducing something like this to a new audience, especially an American audience, where a lot of Americans weren't really familiar with Doctor Who, not the way British people were, you know, people are going to be, huh? So I like that. I think the lesson learned from that with the new series is they just went ahead and started off with the 9th Doctor, which is great because it gave us this mystery of what happened between the 8th and 9th Doctors to get filled in later, which it did, which worked. And I do think that part of the success of the first season of New Who was a couple lessons learned from the TV movie. So I thank it for that. I do wish that the Blu-ray release would have been a true HD upscale. Unfortunately, or a true HD remaster. It's just an upscale. I have the Blu-ray up here. The Blu-ray release is an upscale. It's not a true remaster in HD. The TV movie was filmed on 35mm film, so it can be converted into true HD, but it was edited on videotape, so all of the special effects would have to be redone. Basically like Star Trek The Next Generation. They'd have to re-edit it, redo the special effects, and I don't know if the BBC would be willing to spend the money on that. Also, I don't know where the original film print is. I believe it's in the hand of one of the American companies, so the BBC would have to get a hold of it if the American companies haven't lost it, like what happened with the Babylon 5 footage. So, if it still exists, if they know where it is, they could get a hold of it and rescan it, because I would love to see it in true HD instead of just an upscale. So, the TV movie, it's good. Not good, good. It's not bad, it's not great. It's good, but it is essential watching, in my opinion, if you're a Doctor Who fan. And it does have a lot of really good elements to it. Unfortunately, a lot of really bad elements to it. Some of the humor in it doesn't quite hit either, just a note. But that's my thoughts on it. Have you seen the TV movie? What do you think of the TV movie? Whether you like or dislike the TV movie, do you consider it essential viewing for a Doctor Who fan? Even if it's just to watch it once so you've seen it. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. Check out my main channel, Prowl1701, Prowl1701, where I talk about all things Star Wars, and most importantly, thank you for watching.